Hi, thought I'd try something a little bit different today. Um, I travel and drive an awful lot, so I thought I'd see if I can shoot some of these videos while I'm driving and get something done that way. So that's why you see me in the car here today, and we'll see how it works. Who knows? Do me a favor. Let me know if you like this or if it's okay. I'm sure it's not going to be as good as the fancy studio shots, but may still work fine for just passing on information, things like that that I'm trying to share with everybody out there. Let me know what you think. We'll give it a try. I'll do a few this way and see how it works. Oh, today I'd like to talk about something that directors, stage managers, and assistant directors use all the time. You don't see actors using it too many times, but if they were to learn it, it would make your job a little bit easier and also allow you to understand some of the things a director or stage manager might write down. Basically what it is in theater they often use a kind of a shorthand, much like the actual shorthand you would use if like a secretary would use, but it's different. It's more pictorial. It kind of frequently shows an image of what you're doing, where in just a few simple strokes a director can just make in the little note in the script, something like Bill, on page 22, halfway down the line, stand stage left or stand stage right. Instead of writing all that down for the note, he can just put just a couple real quick things down, and it makes it a lot easier for him to watch the play, make the notes, and then relay the notes back to you later on. It'll help you because if you uh, you know, well, for example, he could just give you the notes afterwards if you understood them, and refer to them later or something too. Uh, Most of the time, I just use them for myself when I'm in a play, and when I'm giving notes, I just kind of read them back, interpret them, and read them back to the cast. But if a cast really understood them, I wouldn't hesitate to give them to a cast member who wanted to take them home and study them later. So that depends on the director or the stage manager, but you can figure that out with them. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the notes. There's basically two types of shorthand notes that are used a lot. One is stage or line notes, so that they can very quickly tell you if you messed up on lines or something like that. Those are pretty easy. The other one is blocking notes, and those get to be a lot more complicated because there's a lot more different things you're trying to express, so a little bit bigger learning curve on those. I'll talk about some of them today. I'm going to refer to my tablet some here. And I'm not driving right now, I'm parked. But I'm going to refer to my tablet some here, which will help me. Um, for example, if an actor, um, I wanted to tell an actor to say I wanted to say, Bill, on page 22, halfway down the page, you jumped to a cue or you mixed up a cue, mixed up some words. Well, it would take a while to write all that down. And simply all I would do in the shorthand form is I would just write Bill 22.5 MJ. And that tells me everything that I was trying to do there. Um, the B would stand for Bill. The 22.5 tells them exactly where the lines are that were messed up. A lot of times I'll do this in conjunction with the person on book helping him with the lines. So I'll be watching them, and I'll frequently turn to the AD or whoever. What page are we on? And she'll give me that 22.5, so I can just write that down real quick. But Bill 22.5 MJ. So it's B 22.5 MJ, and basically that would mean Bill on page 22.5, halfway down the page. You mumbled up and jumbled some lines. So he knows exactly where to go in the book. He can refer to it later. He can look down and refer to those lines later. He knows that 22.5 would be halfway down the page. 22.2 is 2/10 of the way down the page. I only do it in tenths. A lot of the actual location on the page, directors do different ways in stage managers. Some of them will give an actual word or two when they write it down, but that takes longer, and I find that distracts me a lot more from what I'm doing. So I try to use the shortcut keys as much as possible. Some of the key, I'll just read down some of the keys that are used for line notes. A equals actor, or whatever that A would be the first initial of the actor. So B would be Bill, S maybe Sue or Sarah, or whatever the character's name is, and I usually use the character's name. It's usually done in an uppercase. I do something a little different that is not kind of the common, but I always circle the character name too. So I'll put A with a circle around it. That just to me makes it stand out a little more and separate it from other characters. That's unnecessary. That's just a personal preference. Page number, the first usually first go the character name, then the page number. So the page number would be, well, in the case here, 22, and then followed by the position on the page, which is always a decimal point, 0.1, 0.2, 0.9, somewhere there, and I only use one letter afterwards, one number afterwards, which will tell them within a line or two where the problem was on the page, so they can very quickly open up their script, and even while we're giving out the notes, they can open their script and they can very quickly thumb to the right page where the note was. P for paraphrased, I for inverted lines, J jumbled cues, L called for lines. A lot of actors like to know that, so I'll have the person on script, if they call for a line, I'll have them just write next to on the script their name. So Bill L. So they would just put BL, and then later when we're giving notes, the line person could say, yeah, you call for lines on 18.6, and that way they could look in their script and say, oh, I need to study this part a little more, or something like that. M, mixed up words, which is the ones we just did, and D, dropped a line. So B, 18.6, D. So that would just simply mean, Bill, on page 18.6, you dropped a line there. So that way they can very quickly look it up and figure out which line they dropped. Let's talk now a little bit about blocking keys. Those are a little bit harder to remember. They're not that they're difficult, but there's just a lot of them. So it kind of takes a while to learn all of them. But if you do learn them, they definitely make notes very fast and easy to take. And also an advantage of all this is they take up much less space in the margin of the script. So if you're sitting there taking your notes down the margin of a script, you can put them in a very, very small space, which helps a lot instead of trying to write out a whole sentence. I'll go down and just talk about some of the more common ones, the ones I use a lot, and then we'll go from there. What I will do is in the notes below for this video, I'll put a link to the link on my website where you can download the full list of notes that I use, and that'll help you memorize them. Okay, let's say we want to tell an actor to kneel between a chair and a table. Okay, now so I want to say, hey, Bill, I want you to kneel over there between that table and that chair. So just go right between them and kneel down. Well, how would we do that? It's actually pretty easy. I'm going to. I don't know if you can see this or not, but I'll probably. No, you can't. I'm looking at my. No, that's not going to work. Okay, no problem. I'll put an example of that in the link that you can download. It'll be in there. But for example, you want to tell them to kneel between those two parts. A couple of them are easy. So first you would say letter B, and in my case I would circle it, but B, Bill, kneel. There's a symbol for kneel, and it's actually a pretty easy one. Uh, it's I'll flash it on the screen here, but it's a arrow going down with a little V coming out the side of it to indicate that they're kneeling. The between is a real easy one to remember. It's just a divide sign, a horizontal line with a dot on each side, so you know it's between. It looks like a divide sign. And the chair is very easy, just a chair and table, very easy signs. They just one dimension drawing of a chair, just one line down, chair, and a line across with two lines down for a table. So it's a pretty simple process. The some of the ones you might find. So anyway, that would say Bill, kneel, between, chair, table, and that tells you everything in just a very short, simple little group of symbols there. Tell you what, let's talk a little bit about some of the blocking keys. I'll just go down some of the more common ones. An actor reclining, say they were laying on a bed, would just simply be a straight horizontal line and a little circle at the end. And circle representing the head and a straight line representing their body. So that would be like an actor reclining. And I'll try and flash each of these on the screen so you can see them. I'll do that later in editing. But for example, an actor seating, circle, line down, circle, a little line partly across, and line down, so to indicate that they're setting. Actor standing is a circle with a straight line down, and we put a short line just above the head in that one to help them. I kind of a verifier, I guess. That one's been around a long time, and I'm not really sure why they take the time to put the line up above, but it's there. Bed, since we mentioned the bed is pretty easy. It's a line across and down, which kind of represents the headboard and the leg of the bed. Bench, divide. Let me go on down and see what else here. Some of them we just use letters for. For example, for cross, if you want somebody to cross across the stage, just a large X. Boom, cross here. Cross left, XL. Cross right, XR. Cross up stage, XU. Down center, just put DC. Down stage, put DS. Downstage of something. If you want somebody to, say you had a chair, and you wanted somebody to cross downstage of the chair, or upstage of the chair. For you might say something like B, Bill, cross, and downstage, which would be a little kind of a smiley face with an arrow on the end. So that would be cross downstage, and then put maybe your symbol for a chair. So very quickly you would have cross downstage of the chair. If you wanted cross upstage of the chair, it would be cross and X, the upside down smiley with the arrow pointing the direction that you want them to cross. So it'd be, and then the chair or bed or whatever you want. So that would mean cross upstage of the chair. Down left is down DL. ENT for enter. EX for exit. F for false. I'll give you the letters because those are a lot easier to remember because most of them really fit the scene. And then I'll show you some of the pictures in the link before and flash a few of them on the screen. Jump is just kind of a little fish hook with an arrow pointing up. kind of give you an idea. So they're pretty self-explanatory, but it's a matter of remembering them. Left, L, lie, L-I-E, and that basically means lie down at that point. You can also use the symbol of the person lying down, the horizontal line in the head. Look at somebody sometimes the actors or directors will point different rays with it, but I just consistently put it one way, and it's just a line down, a line across with an arrow, and then so I say maybe B, Bill, look at S, Sue. So Bill, Sue, there. Page number. Oh, this pause. That's an interesting one. Pause. A lot of times will be, you want to make a note. Oh, I need to pause there. You can do this simply in your own text and stuff, because that's a really common one the actors are told to do a lot. Pause for a beat there, or pause for a beat here. And that's simply a horizontal line with a colon next to it. That's pause. And then if it's horizontal line number colon, so say horizontal line 5 colon, that would mean pause for 5 seconds. I'm saying it's not horizontal line, diagonal line pause, diagonal line colon pause, diagonal line number colon would be pause for so many seconds. I think I said horizontal line, sorry about that. 2 diagonal lines, diagonal line colon, means pause longer. So maybe you've already told them to pause and they're picking it up, but you're not doing it long enough. So you would put that little symbol there. It tells you, oh, I've got to do longer than I've been doing there. When you're making notes in a script, I always suggest making your notes in pencil, and that way you can constantly erase them and put in new notes, because as an actor, you're constantly changing notes. SL, stage left. SR, stage right. B colon. That's kind of an interesting one too. It's similar to the pause, but it doesn't use a diagonal line. This is take a breath. So if you want somebody to stop and take a breath there, you're kind of pausing, so we're still going to use the colon. But what you do is you use B colon, and that means take a breath at that point. So if you want Bill to pause a minute and take a breath, you would just put B, and then a little bit of space there, B colon. So Bill, pause and take a breath. A couple more, and then we'll call it quits today. A lot of the symbols will look much like things you would just recognize instantly. For example, a TV is a square box with a little V on top to represent the antenna, so you know instantly we are talking about the TV. U is up, US is upstage. Underneath, if they want you to go underneath something, would be like a horizontal line with a little dot underneath it. And W slat, W diagonal line would be width. That's probably enough for now. I'll put these notes in the. I'll put a link to all the drawings and all the symbols in my notes below, so you can easily download them and use them for future reference. I hope they help you a lot. They're very, very useful in reserving space on the script and also making notes very, very quickly, which is, I think, one of the biggest factors. It also makes them easier to read once you get used to it, because just at a glance, you don't have to read word for word. You can just kind of glance down and you know instantly what you're supposed to do. So anyway, hope that helps. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, tell a friend. We need all the subscribers we can get, so please, if you enjoyed it, pass this information on to other actors and theater people that you think will get some advantage out of it. And don't forget to leave a comment. I would love to hear what you guys have to say. I do try and look at all the comments, and I really would love to hear what you have to say. If there's any suggestions that you'd like me to talk more about, and for acting, anything in theater and acting, I've been directing plays and working on plays, and most of my life I've spent thousands of hours in front of a live audience as a magician. So I'm sure we can help you out. Thanks so much for watching.